City of Stevens Point Plan Commission meeting, recorded November 4, 2019.
I have 6 o'clock. We will call the regular City Plan Commission meeting to order. Can we get a roll call, please?
Weeza.
Here.
Kneebone.
Here.
Arnson.
Here.
All right. Cooper.
Here.
Haynes.
Here.
Rice.
Here.
Hoppy will be late.
Okay, so he called in and said he was going to be a little late.
That's correct.
Great, but we do have a quorum, so we will move on to our agenda. Item number 2 is the report of the October 7th and October 8th meetings. Begins on page 3 of your packets, Commissioners. Commissioner Cooper?
Move approval.
You have a second? Seconded by Commissioner Rice. Any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And that is approved. Item number 3 is a request from the City of Stevens Point, darn those guys, to accept the donation of land from RBR Joint Venture, approximately .968 acres north of Jefferson Street and east of Brilowski Road on the south side of 5601 Highway 10 East and 5633 Highway 10 East, with parcels identified on page 22 of your packets, Commissioners. And I will turn it over to, well, first of all, let me do this. Let me introduce the new Community Development Director, Ryan Karnowski. Ryan has been with us for just under a week now and doing well. So, Director, I normally would ask you to provide updates on this, but if you would defer, I would be okay with that.
Okay, I will gladly defer to Associate Planner Kearns to provide the presentations tonight.
If it's okay with the commission, I'll be discussing items 3, 4, 5, and 6 as they do pertain to the relative same area and the same project here. And that project is the acceptance of land that's being dedicated by the owners, RBR Joint Venture, which is the former Walmart property on Brilowski Road, just south of Highway 10. They are donating 2 pieces of property. One outlined in red here is for a stormwater improvement to address some stormwater concerns there. The other outlined in blue is to, again, address stormwater along the entirety of Jefferson and potentially expand that right-of-way at the time Jefferson is extended. The map doesn't show it here, but it would extend to the end of Jefferson, several hundred feet, and or to the east. Each property is identified. One's about an acre in blue, and the other is about 3/4 of an acre. This is a preliminary certified survey map, again, that shows the entirety of the properties. I will note also that Joel Lemke, Director of Utilities, is here and can discuss further the improvements to these said parcels. Upon review, however, it does seem appropriate, and therefore staff would recommend approval. Jefferson right now does not have the typical right-of-way width that a normal street would have, so the designation of 33 additional feet would give it that right-of-way width, and then the area to the north does allow for, again, stormwater facilities to be constructed to alleviate a lot of the stormwater issues on that corner for a lot of those duplexes.
So what I would ask is that Director Lemke come up, because 3, 4, 5, and 6 are all related, and then we'll have a council meeting afterwards to affirm this. And ask Director Lemke to come up here and talk about the stormwater section of this, which really pertains to items 5 and 6. But we will address each of these individually if need be.
So if you go to page 24 of your packets, which is the CSM that Kyle just showed, really what that is talking about is what's labeled as Lot 1 here. That's where everything from the north roof line of the old Walmart building to the south currently drains to this pond. And so what they're doing is, our agreement essentially states that we're gonna take over that pond, we're gonna maintain it, we're also gonna send water there from the right-of-way and any future need we need in that area. And in exchange, we're gonna allow them to take the same amount of water that they do currently there in whatever configuration that property is in the future. So hypothetically, if there's 100,000 square feet of impervious area draining to that, we'll allow that in the future, even if it's shaped a little different, if it goes outside those boundaries, in exchange for the land. So that's the basics of it.
Okay, so we're going to take each of these items separately, but right now, does anyone have any questions from either the director, associate planner, or the director of utilities? Alder Nebone.
One for Director Lemke. That's basically already a great big swale. Anyway, will you be doing anything to improve the swale itself, or like add riprap or anything, or basically leave it the way it is?
Yeah, so the area that Kyle had in maybe blue, the long skinny portion, yeah, that we've already actually begun a little bit of work to what we can do inside the right of way. We've put 2 catch basins in on the south side of the road, run them across the road in anticipation of being able to drain them somewhere. But as long as that blue area, we can swale it such that whatever water comes from the north doesn't just drain right across the roads into the front yards. That's our intention. So we're hoping to get something done yet this fall.
And that's the reason really why we're having these back-to-back meetings, is so the work can begin. So when spring rolls around, we can at least have something in place to try and prevent the flooding that's occurred in the past in spring. Any other questions? Director, I'll reserve the right to call on you in the future. Any comments from the audience on anything relating to items 3, 4, 5, or 6? Okay, bringing it back for action on item number 3, we need a motion to accept the donation of land, if that is your wish. Alder Nebone?
I will so move.
Okay, do we have a second?
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Haynes. Discussion there? Any comments from the audience? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. And that is approved. Item number 4 is the dedication of that land for right-of-way purposes. What are your wishes?
Move approval.
Okay, seconded by Commissioner Arnson. Any discussion there? Comments from the audience? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that is approved. Item number 5 is a request from the City of Stevens Point to accept a donation of land from RBR Joint Venture, approximately .784 acres, north of Jefferson, et cetera, et cetera.
Move to
Commissioner
approve.
Arnson, thank you. Seconded by Commissioner Cooper. We're doing really well splitting it up, too. I like that. Any discussion?
There.
Comments from the audience? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that is approved. Item number 6 is a request from the Utility Department for the approval of a stormwater agreement with RBR Joint Venture for an area east of Brilowski, north of Jefferson, for that purpose.
Move approval.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
Okay, motion by Rice, seconded by, yes, there we go, you got it. All right. All those, I'm sorry, comments? Comments from the audience? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that is approved. Nice. Number 7 is a public hearing and subsequent action on a request from Bill Lorigan Construction Incorporated, representing Wazella Publishing Company, for a conditional use permit to construct an addition onto the principal structure with a reduced street front setback on one frontage at 3535 Jefferson Street, page 37 in your packets, Commissioners. And Kyle?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So Wazella Publishing is looking to add on an additional 50,000 square foot facility on the south side of the property. This location fronts on Dixon Street, and there is a section in the zoning code that allows for a reduced setback for additions or principal buildings that have frontage on 2 streets. And I do want to note that there was an error in the staff report. I misreferenced the B4 district, which discusses 3 streets and not 2 streets. So I have corrected it in the following slide. Again, they are asking for that reduced setback down to 20 feet, which the zoning code does allow for, again, on the Dixon Street side. This is the approximate location of the addition here outlined in red. I will also note that they will be matching the easternmost setback of, it amounts to about 15 feet to the east property line, which would align with the existing building. And they will match the materials, the color, the design of the existing facility as well. Some more drawings of the facility here. here. With regards to the conditions of approval, it does appear to be appropriate for the property. It is a unique piece of property in that it spans across several city blocks. It does have access on two main thoroughfares, Dixon Street and Jefferson Street. And none of the access to the site is changing. There are uses in industrial nature across from the site. So again, staff doesn't feel that this in any way is going to be incompatible to the area or to the uses already existing on the facility, and therefore we would recommend approval.
Okay, before we open up the public hearing, are there any clarifying questions from the commissioners for Kyle or Director Karnowski? Okay, with that, I will declare the public hearing open. Anyone wishing to offer testimony on this request, step to the lectern, please, name and address for the record.
Steve Tomat, 21 Ridgewood Drive, Park Ridge subdivision of Stevens Point. First of all, I'm not against anything. I'm just, and I see it's written up there. I noticed when I look at that picture, there's an awful lot of parking that's been removed from that particular space, and I'd like to know where the, this is going to be increase in employee size, smaller parking lot, where's the parking going to be going for these people that are working there?
Okay, thank you. We'll answer the questions after the public hearing is closed. Anyone else for the public hearing? Public hearing remains open. We'll go here and then you, sir.
Mary Werger, 20 Hazelwood Drive. You mentioned something in the previous slide about the noise being not much. From where I live, the noise currently is quite loud. Sometimes it does go, it's not really loud, it's a thumping that you just feel. There's a pressure feeling. And it will go all day. Sometimes they say they'll stop at, I think it was 10, and it will go till later. So I'm concerned about what they're putting in that portion, the noise, and then I am concerned about the health. I do notice that we have black, I wash my walls because we have black, kind of a black dust. And I'm not sure what is caused that, but I have not had that in other places I've lived in Stevens Point.
Okay, thank you. Sir?
My name is Bill Lorgan Construction. I guess the address with the parking, that we'll meet all the requirements for the parking spaces that are there. And I think you saw the notes, our feeling is that it may help some of the neighbors as far as less noise and that, because the truck traffic is going to be blocked more. And actually lighting too, you won't have it as much as they do now. So we feel it might be some improvements for neighbors in that too. So I think it could be a win-win for everybody.
Thank you.
So.
Public hearing remains open.
David Smith, also 20 Hazelwood Drive. I guess I have to disagree about the noise, because what my wife just mentioned is the noise is not coming from trucks, it's coming from the actual business itself. And we're concerned that, especially since if you look at the area in blue, it's right next to all those homes there, that those people that are living
Can you
in
bring
those
that map
homes.
up again, please? The overhead. There you go.
Yeah, those people are living, and, we're one of those across the street there, but we have several people that came to the meeting here today that are living right there. And we don't really, we don't know what the activity is going to be in that section. Is it going to be more, of this type of things that make this noise? Because that's an issue for us, so.
Okay, thank you. Public hearing is still open.
I'm Dee Sherpke, and I live at 719 Sunset, so our house is right next to where's Ellis. It faces, and yes, the noise is sometimes terrible. It pounds and pounds, and in the basement you can hear it. And also, I'm concerned about how dirty it makes our house. We have white siding, and we can power wash our house every summer, and it's still full of the black ink look. So I'm more concerned with the noise though, because I don't like it at 11 o'clock at night when it's still pounding. And we've had them come and listen. They've been real nice about coming to check and see what they could do about it, but it continues on many occasions.
Okay, thank you. Public hearing is still open. Public hearing remains open.
Tori Jennings, Aller, District 1. I certainly sympathize with residents when changes occur that feel like they're going to affect way of life, but speaking as an alder from the city side, Warzala Publishing is one of our great stories, a great local company. And when we have a business like this expanding, increasing our tax revenue, that's a good story too. So I would be in favor of this. I hope you support it. Thank you.
Thank you. Public hearing is still open. Public hearing remains open. And for the third time, the public hearing is still open. I say this every time. We have to announce it 3 times, and it seems a little monotonous, but that's the rules. Okay, seeing no one else wishing to speak, I will declare.
No, I can wait till it's closed.
Okay, I declare the public hearing closed, and we will move it back for deliberation. I know we have representatives here from both Warzala Publishing and the construction company. I was wondering if they would be able to address anything regarding the noise concerns or the black dust allegations. You're not obligated to, but if you would like to address it, I would ask you to do that now, please. I think we covered the parking portion of it. Okay, I'll have him come back.
Brian McManus, Vice President, Warzala. I think you'll find that what we're going to do with this section is predominantly warehousing, so we can make more room in the interior for manufacturing. The only equipment going in is going to be here on this western side of the building, so it'll be further away from the Park Ridge area. And that equipment shouldn't be noisy to the neighbors. As far as the blackness, I can't imagine where that comes from. We're 100% compliant with the DNR, so I'm not sure if that's just association, but
Okay.
you know, we shouldn't be emitting anything to the atmosphere, so.
I understand that. Thank you very much. So I'm seeing the gentleman in front who had the parking concern. He says we didn't really address anything on parking. I'm going to ask that someone maybe from Warzala come back up. I know you said that you're in compliance, but is there something other specific that you wanted to know, sir?
Well,
I need you to come to the microphone. I apologize.
That's okay.
That's because we rebroadcast this on radio and TV.
Well, you said it was in compliance, but that didn't really tell me where are the people going to park.
Okay, and we will direct that question to the applicants. I know there's lots of on-street parking in the area as well.
There is some on-street opportunity on Dixon, but we hope it doesn't come to that. We don't think it will. We have extra parking now, so.
Okay.
The only time it could possibly be a problem in the future is at shift change, and if we have to, all we have to do is just tweak our shift changes a little bit, and we'll have plenty of parking, so.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Kyle?
I do want to note from a parking standpoint, they do meet the parking requirements. Figures were provided. Warehousing, manufacturing has a very high, if you will, threshold for parking in terms of what stall ratios are per square feet, and they do meet that requirement. The other thing I wanted to note is that our office did receive 2 calls today from nearby citizens, one at 3401 Jefferson Street, who is not in favor of the addition because of the residential neighborhood surrounding the property and the increase to semi-truck traffic and noise. The other one, Jeff May, has concerns as well regarding the increases in truck traffic on Jefferson. And that is it.
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, what are your wishes? Alder Kneebone.
Well, since Warzala Publishing is a great business in District 7, I would like to move to approve the permit for the addition
With staff recommendations?
with staff recommendations.
Okay. Is there a second? Seconded by Commissioner Cooper. Discussion.
I guess if we can get some additional clarification from Representative Warzala that, I guess the type of production or manufacturing that's existing is not changing significantly because of the addition.
My understanding it's not changing at all.
And I guess, obviously with the addition, presumably there's more volume of production, but yeah, just confirmation that it really shouldn't affect, the type of production being done isn't different, so the existing noise shouldn't really increase.
Can I have a representative from Warzala address that concern, please? So what will this area be used for, and what, if anything, would change in your operation?
Our business stays the same. We're a producer of high-quality books. You know some of our books from being on tours through the plant. So we're just going to do more books. That's all. So the equipment that's going in is binding equipment that would be in that section of the plant. So just book binding equipment. So anything else?
Does that answer your question, Commissioner Rice?
Yes.
Thank you. Commissioner Arnson.
Just to follow up on the additional truck traffic question, do you expect additional traffic, and maybe how much?
I mean, if our business grows, it's reasonable to assume there'll be some more truck traffic, but there's a truck route on Dixon, so all the complaints from Jefferson, if we have to route more traffic through Dixon, we can ask our dispatchers to do that, so.
Sounds like we might want to suggest that.
We can do that.
All right. Any other questions? Okay, we have a motion and a second to approve the conditional use. I'm sorry, it's not a conditional use. It is,
Yes, it is.
it is a conditional use. Sorry. Glasses on and off. Any final comments from the audience? Hearing none, all those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that is approved. Item number 8 is a request from Dwayne Gruhl, representing Operation Bootstrap, for a site plan review to add a shed at 5,000 Heffron Street, which is city-owned property. Page 50 of your packet. Kyle?
In most cases, a request like this isn't going to come before the Plan Commission. However, Operation Bootstrap is unique because the city actually owns the land upon which they operate, and any improvement upon said land requires this body's approval. With that being said, they're looking to put a shed at the location identified. It will be on a portion of the parking that was expanded last year. However, they will still meet the parking requirement with the shed. It's a fairly simple shed, 8x8 structure, prefab. It'll have to be tied down per the building code, and therefore staff would recommend approval.
You mean, it's tied down, you mean anchored?
Anchored.
We're not actually going to tie it down.
Correct, anchored, yes.
Anchored. Okay, so commissioners, everybody understand what we're talking about here? Because it's city-owned property, they need permission to put that shed on. Any comments? Comments from the audience? What are your wishes?
I'd move to approve.
Thank you.
Second.
Seconded by Commissioner Haynes. Discussion? Hearing none. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? And that is approved. And we are adjourned just in time for the council, 6:24.
Videos of these meetings are available for viewing on the city's website, stevenspoint.com/videos.